Let's unpack this now further with the MKP KZN Caucus whip, Siphiwe Mbatha-Moyo. Siphiwe, good evening. Thank you so much for your time. Really do appreciate it. Let's start here. The Speaker had rejected the request for the debate to happen, or at least for the vote to happen by secret ballot. What is the MK's response to that? And is the MK and KZN considering pursuing the Speaker legally for the rationality of that decision?
Thanks, Oliver, for your time, and good evening to the listeners and viewers of SABC News. And before I can answer your question, I have to say, you know, it's very sad that in a democratic state and with a constitution that is regarded as the best in the world, you find a situation where a democratic process is being denied. And because all we needed after we tabled the motion is that the Speaker was supposed to do just one important aspect of democracy, where you allow a secret ballot to take place. Because a secret ballot simply says, and in a true sense of it, it means that people will be able to vote outside the party line, but vote with their conscience. And unfortunately today, it was not the case, because you can clearly see from everything that was happening and the speech that was delivered, or the ruling that was delivered by the Speaker, to say that, oh, okay, so this is a script well prepared before we even debated the matter.
But Siphiwe, just to pause you there, and we must be fair on what the law says to this. Parties aren't entitled to having a vote by secret ballot. The Speaker still has the discretionary power in applying their minds to either allow or deny a secret ballot. And there they have to evaluate the balances of many different things. On the one hand, as you say, giving members of parliament or members of the provincial legislature the safety of being able to vote outside the party line and to vote with their conscience, quote unquote. But also, the Speaker also has to consider democratic principles such as transparency, where there's a lot of public interest in the way which parties will vote for this. The public deserves to know how parties voted and how very specifically individual members of parliament voted in this instance. And one would imagine that the residents of KZN would want to know who their what their public representatives voted for in this motion. The Speaker has to evaluate those two considerations, and surely you can appreciate that.
I do, Oliver, but firstly, one thing that you must remember, or that must come into attention as you're posing this question, is that in 2017, in fact, before even speaking about 2017, one thing that you must remember is that this thing that was happening today, I agree with you on what you're saying about the Speaker's discretion and whatnot. You are quite correct. But firstly, let's test the democracy. Because Baleka Mbete at some stage denied a secret ballot, and UDM had to take her to court. And the constitutional ruling, even though the constitutional ruling was not a law, but the constitutional ruling on that matter gave the Speaker of that time to say, allow a secret ballot to take place, so that even those who have been threatened, they will be able to exercise. I get your point.
But again, let's go back to that Constitutional Court ruling, right? Chief Justice Mogoeng was quite clear in his penning of that order. One, they did not compel the Speaker to institute a secret ballot vote. They didn't say you must. They said you may, which is different language, right? The language means that the Speaker still has the decision there. The Speaker's argument at the time was, I don't have the power because this thing doesn't exist. The Constitutional Court said, no, you do have the power to give way for a secret ballot vote because the thing does exist. There's nothing in law that says the thing doesn't exist. So you may actually grant a secret ballot vote. And that was what the court ruling was.
You know, you are quite correct on that one. But to you, what I said to you, because you interjected me while I was trying to elaborate further why I'm raising the point with you. You are quite correct. The judge said the Speaker may, which is, it's fair enough. But I'm saying to you, this is democracy. Now, within a system of democracy, we must consider all other aspects of the matter. Let me give an example. This morning, around 6:30, we received death threats from a number that was mentioned by the Chief Whip. Now, that tells you that there's something sinister on this matter. Therefore, consider all aspects. Don't just look at the party line. And another thing that...
Okay, just very clearly, are you going to take the Speaker to court?
Well, we are still, speaking with our legal expert on the matter, but most definitely we will do that.
Okay, just a very last question and very briefly on this. Your members quite literally charged at the Speaker. You seem to uphold the principles of democratic processes. What was happening there was incredibly dangerous, not one just to the Speaker, but to the democratic institution and the process. As the Chief Whip, you're responsible for the discipline of your members. What responsibility are you willing to take for the ill discipline of your members?
Firstly, I'm not the Chief Whip of the Caucus. I'm the Whip of the Caucus. And secondly, Oliver, I sense that in your questioning, you are more on a certain side than listening to the rationale that I'm bringing on this interview. I'm saying to you, this matter, as much as you said the Speaker has the discretion and whatnot, but this matter on its own, it says the party line supersede the constitution of the country.
You're not answering my question. Are you going to hold your members to account for their ill discipline?
I am coming, Oliver, as much as this is your interview, but at the same time, you must allow me to speak. I'm coming to your question, but I'm bringing this because every time when I speak, you seem to block me. I'm coming to your question, but to answer your question fair and square, we as a whip of the caucus in the legislature, we have spoken with our members not to do these things that were happening, but wait. But I'm saying to you, you are missing the point where our members, including myself, we were threatened with death if we proceed with this matter of no vote of no confidence. But you seem to have a particular mandate as to what questions...
No, certainly not at all. These questions are simply just very rational and fair questions. And I thank you for your time and attempting to answer them. Just 30 seconds just to wrap up your answer,
Yeah, allow me to answer accordingly. What we witnessed today was not a neutral parliamentary exercise, but a classic example of how the ruling bloc uses institutions to reproduce its power. The legislature acted not as a house of the people, but as a shield for the elite political arrangement. When a motion meant to hold executive power accountable is procedurally suffocated, it's a signal of a crisis of legitimacy, not strength. This is the problem we're facing in this country. And lastly, as I sit down, a political standpoint that I may raise is that this was not the state protecting itself. This was the state protecting itself against democratic intrusion.
Okay, I'm going to have to leave it at Siphiwe Mbatha-Moyo. Thank you so much for your time. Really do appreciate it. The whip of the MK Caucus.